So since our last video, we've seen nothing but selling pressure. In our last video, we actually warned you guys about the selling that was going to take place, and that is exactly what we saw. So looking at the SPY, which is here on the right, we saw a 5.5% sell-off over the last 2 weeks. And looking at the NASDAQ, we saw let's grab a measuring tool. We saw a 8.3% sell-off on QQQ, which translates to, if we're looking at SQQQ, which is what you trade when we see selling pressure, we actually saw approximately a 29% move to the upside. What's going on, traders? My name is Xander with Facer Trading Academy. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing. We do these videos every single Monday and Friday evening. Let's go ahead and pull up the video that I posted about 2 weeks ago, warning stock market update. The NASDAQ market is about to drop. And that's exactly what we saw, not just the NASDAQ market, but the SPY as well. So if you guys have been watching this channel, you guys know that we trade SQQQ when the market goes down and TQQQ when the market goes up. We are currently seeing a bit of a pivot from the selling pressure. Today was the first day, and it's kind of confirmed a potential reversal that I wanted to talk to you guys about, give you guys an idea of where I think the market's going to be going this week and what to expect. We're going to be looking at QQQ on the daily chart. Let's go ahead and grab a drawing tool. We'll start from the top and go down in time frequencies. So we're going to start with the daily chart and grab a quick drawing tool and give you guys a breakdown of some technical analysis, some key economic data that's going to be released, and earnings that are going to be released this week as well. So looking at the daily chart, we made our call about 2 weeks ago that we're going to start seeing selling pressure about 2 weeks ago here when we saw the RSI being extremely overbought on the daily chart. And what did we see? We saw a convergence happen on the MACD. We started seeing selling pressure, and we saw the market begin to sell off. Now what we're starting to see is we are more so oversold than overbought, and the MACD is beginning to converge to the upside. We might see a little bit more consolidation, and we also had the Fed speaking this Friday. So just keep that in mind, that will be priced into the overall market and the price action this week. But just to give you guys an idea of some levels that we're at, some levels that we're respecting, and potential resistance levels to be aware of, let's go ahead and talk about those right now. So we ended up seeing a support here at this 355 zone, and that used to be a previous support here back in July. And it actually was a resistance at the beginning of July, or beginning of June, end of July. We saw some resistance right up here at this level. Then we saw some support at this level. And now we found support at this level again. And we are beginning to see a reversal pattern forming here. On top of that, we're starting to see the RSI being extremely oversold and starting to move to the upside. We're starting to see the MACD converging to the upside. We haven't yet seen that convergence yet, so we might still see some consolidation or some volatility happening. But personally, I think that we are beginning to we're beginning to see a potential reversal here to the upside. That first level of resistance that I am expecting us to see is going to be at that 370, 372 zone. That has been a previous resistance before, right over here. So that's going to potentially be a resistance if we do start seeing a move to the upside here. So that's going to be a resistance to watch on the way up. That's also aligning here with the 50-day simple moving average, which is this purple line right here. And that's also going to be potentially, at that same general zone as the exponential moving average, which is this blue line on the daily chart, right? So this is all on the daily chart. Obviously, we are starting to see a reversal. We're starting to see a move to the upside, and everything is starting to align for a potential move to the upside. So some stocks that I'd be watching are going to be blue chip stocks like Apple, Amazon, Nvidia. Very stable stocks. They're going to move with the market. So that's something to consider if you guys are looking for specific stocks, or if you guys want to just trade SQQQ or TQQQ and capitalize on these moves. They are 3x leveraged. So this move right here was about 8%, but we saw about a 28% move here on TQ or SQQQ when the market was selling off. So that was a way for us to capitalize. The team knew about it. If you guys are interested, that link is going to be the third link down in the description below if you guys want to work with me on a closer basis. So that's just a quick breakdown here on the daily chart. Let's go ahead and clear this up and go into some smaller time frames just to get a little more perspective. This is kind of the big picture. Going into a 4-hour chart, we're going to be looking at a very similar setup, but we might be looking at levels where, we think that we might potentially see a resistance, right? So as you guys see, when we were selling off, we've seen this 50-day simple moving average on the 4-hour chart act as a resistance before. We're currently at that same zone. So something to pay attention to. It doesn't necessarily have to continue to push higher. We might see a resistance right at this exact point. So this is why we go from top down and we look from bigger timeframes to smaller timeframes to kind of see what to expect, potential resistance zones to expect on the way up if our bias is that the market is going to begin to push to the upside. So that's just something to pay attention to on the way up. We're going to be looking at that 50-day simple moving average, probably going to be watching that tomorrow to see if we break above it. If we do, that's just going to confirm to us that our daily chart analysis is in fact holding true, and we're going to be doubling into TQQQ as we were today. So if you guys are on the team, you guys know that we did jump into TQQQ in the morning and we exited at the end of the day, and we're going to reevaluate tomorrow to see if we break above this resistance zone or not. If we do, we're going to get back into TQQQ. If we don't, we're going to be looking at SQQQ. So just something to keep in mind. That's on the 4-hour chart. And looking at the 1-hour chart, we don't want to go down to timeframes smaller than an hour, because when we're doing an analysis, it really doesn't do you much favors if you're looking at very honed in time frequencies, just because it kind of blurs the general picture. Again, we're watching this green line right here, 180-day simple moving average. Acted as a resistance, We're currently at the same zone. So this aligns with the 4-hour chart, 50-day simple moving average, the 180-day simple moving average on the 1-hour. Again, a potential resistance. So we want to see that break on the 4-hour chart. We want to see this break here on the 1-hour chart. And obviously our daily chart is kind of our big picture general thesis that we have on the overall market. So just something to keep in mind. Again, that is our game plan for this week. We're going to be looking for a break above this here on Tuesday, and then we're going to be watching for confirmation. If we're going to be breaking above it, we're going to be jumping into TQQQ. If we're going to be holding resistance there and potentially selling off, we're potentially going to jump into SQQQ once we get that rejection confirmation. So those are the both sides of the coin here for you guys to pay attention to. Again, going back to the daily chart, just to give you guys some levels to pay attention to here on the daily chart. That first level that we're going to be paying attention to the upside is going to be that 270 to 272 zone. To the downside, if we do see rejection, we're going to be looking at that 355 zone where we found support here yesterday or on Friday, and where we found support previously. So that's going to be our potential support zone if we do start selling off. If we break that, the next level down is going to be 336. Now, on the other side, if we're going to break into, bullish territory and we're going to hit that 370, 372 resistance zone, and if we break that, we're going to be looking for that next level to the upside to be previous resistance, which is currently sitting at 388, which was those previous highs. So those are just some levels for you guys to pay attention to. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the key economic data that's going to be released this week. Something to pay attention to is going to be that Monday, we're going to be seeing nothing too important, which was today. Tuesday, the most important thing is going to be existing home sales for the month of July. The next thing on Wednesday is going to be building permits, and S&P Global U.S. Services PMI for the month of August. New home sales for the month of July on Wednesday as well. And then Thursday, we're going to be seeing core durable goods orders month over month for the month of July, initial jobless claims, and continuing jobless claims. And then Friday, we're going to see the Fed chair speaking on Friday. So just some key economic data to pay attention to and economic events to pay attention to. The last thing that I want to talk about is going to be some of the earnings that are going to be released and have been released. So we had Zoom reporting earnings today after market close. Tomorrow before market, we have Lowe's, we have Dick's Sporting Goods, Macy's. Nothing too important other than something, or Urban Outfitters, something that some of you guys might be interested in after close on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have NVIDIA after the close. We also have Kohl's before open and Peloton before open. Advanced Auto Parts is another one to pay attention to, and Foot Locker too. Thursday, what we have is TD Bank, Petco, Workday after market close, Gap, Nordstrom, Affirm. Friday, we don't have anything. So those are some of the things for you guys to pay attention to: the key economic data, the earnings that are going to be reported, and a technical breakdown of QQQ and what we expect in this upcoming week. So hopefully this was helpful and valuable for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.